Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now we are playing, of course, some Gran Turismo 7. New daily races have come out a couple of days ago, so we're doing the St. Chronics track, I believe is what it's called, using the Lexus RCF. Now, lap 1 of the qualifying, at this point we're just trying to set a tempo of learning the track and not basically trying to come off. So obviously take that corner there a little bit too slowly and a lot wide of the apex. That actually didn't even make sense. Basically don't even hit the apex. Now, like I say, it's just about learning, understanding what the car can do on the track as well. So we'll skip ahead and, like now, brake early and just a bit slow into the corner. Now this right-hander here, I struggle taking it, and as you can see, smash the wall. So at this point I need to figure out how to actually take that corner effectively to the point where I'm actually quick. Now this right-hander here, again, most of these corners are they're like fairly simple, or fairly like, well, yeah, I guess fairly simple. A lot of flat out corners too, but there's a few corners on this track that are deceptively tricky. Like this one, it's either flat out or do I lift, do I brake early? Not really too sure what the best route is. Now obviously you can go on the global rankings and look at how people take these corners, but I use the global ranking to look at what cars are setting the pace. And to be fair, I think for this track it was the M6 and this Lexus. Now lap 2 we got a big slide on, obviously from the previous lap, so we are now in front of our Ghost now by 0.3 of a second. So we do take this corner a lot more smooth. We do take that corner as well with a lot more pace. So just over half a second in front of the Ghost. So do take this little right-hander wider. So I think the wider you take it, the more speed you can carry. And again, this little part of the track, that right-hander coming up to the bridge, again, that's tricky. I do play on controller, so I don't get the sensation of what the car's doing. However, I do have adaptive triggers, which is good. Now this right-hander again, do we take this better than before? It looks like we do, so that's great. Almost 2 seconds now in front of our Ghost. So I mean, at this pace we're looking at setting at 2:11 roughly. So at the moment, you know, we picked up the pace quite a lot. We're on track, we're on record to set a new record and have a record broken. And yeah, so 2 seconds in front of our Ghost. So yeah, we're looking about 2:11 ish, but obviously this is the last corner, so we will get around it and see what time we post and see if then we can obviously beat it on the next lap. Now we do set a 2:11.3, so it's a lot better than, a lot faster than the last lap. But lap 3 here, touching grass, running wide, so not looking too good so far. But again, take it a little bit wider, this right-hander, and we're kind of like on pace with the Ghost. And take that corner again, we're touching grass a lot slower because I had to run wide. So let's fast forward, and a little bit of a slide on coming out of that corner. Now the right-hander here, obviously just take it too fast, a little bit of a bang on the wall. So I think that's that lap ended. I mean, we're only a little bit behind our previous best, which isn't too bad, I guess, for hitting the wall. Now lap 4, this corner is again deceptively weird. Like, it looks quite sharp, but I don't think it actually is. but we're now quite far behind our Ghost. And this left-hander here, take it smooth, take it pretty good, to be fair. No oversteer on the way out of the corner, so I'm not too sure how we're 0.0013 seconds in front, even though we were behind. But yeah, take that corner there a lot wider, and it does make a bigger difference. Hit the apex nice there. Now come to the bridge, and now just finish the bridge. We take this corner a lot better too, trying to alleviate some just random oversteers coming out of the corner. Now, do we take this corner better than before? Yes, only well we didn't hit the wall, which is always a plus. Now we've skipped ahead to the flat out right hander, coming up to this right hander into this big braking zone, I would say. So we take that a lot better. We are about half a second in front, so again looking at say a mid 210s or just above, well, high 210s I'll say at the moment, unless we obviously pick up some pace, which it looks like we are. So we're probably looking at low 210s at the moment, which is excellent, of course. Now this last corner, a little bit tricky. You need to hit the curb on the right as much as possible to get a fast line through there. So we set a 210.3. Now lap 5 here. Now you can see that we're just overdriving the car, and for me, when I start doing that, I need to take a break and just not drive for a minute or so. Running wide there. I hit the wall here as well, come around to this right hander. So we will jump into the next session and see what we get up to. But yeah, hit the wall here and quit. So we have got a full 14.5 minutes till the race starts in this daily race here. So that being said, obviously our record is 210.3. Now on this particular lap, because I entered the qualifying time trial with the countdown to the race start, we don't get a ghost as it's a new session essentially. So at the moment we're just trying to go off muscle memory and what we've learned so far from the previous qualifying session. Now it looks like, you know, we're on par for a good lap time, but like I say, it's hard to know that exactly because again there's no ghost, and I just gotta go off a feeling and hope that it is a good lap. But that right hander there looks like we take that pretty smooth, to be fair. Now we'll come up to the last last third of the track, I'd say. You know, it seems like we're going pretty smooth. There's obviously no catastrophic mistakes or anything like that. We're quite smooth and consistent in our pace of trying to set a good lap time and trying to beat the record, of course. So we are now on the last corner before the start of a new lap. So we'll get around the corner, we'll try and bomb down the straight, and we'll try and see what our new lap record is, if we've even got one. So let's have a look. So it's a 209.9, so in fact it's no ghost, and we still set a pretty decent lap time, to be fair. So obviously an improvement there. Now again we're ahead of the ghost, so it looks like we're on for another lap record. And taking this left-hander before the time split board to see what we are in comparison to the ghost. So 0.337 seconds in front, which is good. That'll be a sort of a mid-range 209 there. So not too bad. Sort of improvement's an improvement, I guess. Now I do take this corner a little bit slow, a little bit wide, so kind of neck and neck with the ghost going down the bridge straight. And for some odd reason, I just brake super early and turn in way too early. So any chances of a good lap has now officially flew out of the window. So we're fast forward now. this right-hander here, take it smooth. Now we're, I would say a little bit of pace gain there, but just keep an eye out. You never know, something might actually even happen. We don't know. Might just find some supersonic Usain Bolt speed and pace. So, I mean, we are gaining now, but again, it's just that little bit of running wide. Now coming up to the last corner, brake very late, but take a really good line in actually, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a new record, which is a shame really. I was actually like, last section was a pretty good lap. Now this is the good lap, so this is actually a new record, and so we will hit the wall and of course restart. Joking, no, this is the good lap now. So 209.2 to beat. Now a little bit late on the brakes. Again, that corner, when you start getting used to it, you can actually take that corner quite quick, to be fair, which is actually a good little corner too. Now the second corner there, now come to the third. I try and use as much track width as possible to try and get a good entrance in. Running wide there on the grass, but still neck and neck. Well, still a little bit in front of the Ghost. Now we're neck and neck, now behind. So, you know, it's just one of those, what do you sacrifice kind of thing. Now I'm a little bit behind on my pace from my 209.2 lap, so we'll fast forward over the bridge, and on the 200 mark as we stop, brake just before the 100 ball, I believe it is, and we've now gained a little bit of pace back. We've been smooth on the exit and no oversteer, of course. Now this right-hander, take it a little bit tighter so we get a bit of a slingshot exit, and now we're gaining pace on the Ghost, which is great, excellent news. Now flat out obviously through there and up to this big braking zone for the right-hander. Brake just after the curb change, or a little bit after. Try and hit the apex there, but kind of didn't. Now last third of the track, let's see what the split time is. Probably, okay, didn't actually say, sure. Now we're on the final stretch and final stint of this qualifying lap. Ghost there is actually a little bit ahead, so he must have had a better corner pace through there. Now doesn't actually give us the up or down split, but we will set a 209.2, so a little bit of an improvement. It puts us 5th, so not too bad. Now we'll start the race, position 5, lap 109 with a required pit stop, obviously for fresh tyres. Now I do apologise, what you're about to see is embarrassing. Shouldn't have done it. So I do apologise to Noob Sensei. I hopefully senses I get the apology. He gets the apology, sorry. Now puts us back into 5th, but we get the overtake done on Muffin, so into P4. Now there's obviously a lot of cars behind, and we need to catch up to P3. Iaski, or Iaski, a lot of pronunciation butchering in this video. Warning, obviously will be permitted. Now on the bridge, fast forward, opened the gap up for between myself and 5th of a second. I do have to say that this Lexus, I think, on fresher tyres is a lot better on the infield sections than the BMW. I think the Lexus in the slipstream is also a little bit quicker as well. I'm not too sure on the actual just straights and that sort of section, but the Lexus, I do recommend using it. Now, Z habit there, crashes into the wall, bounces off the wall. Now, I'm not sure here, does he purposely turn into me? I obviously run within track, or outside the track limit, so I get a 0.5 second penalty, or half a second penalty, and that's kind of annoying. But I think Connor there maybe hit the wall, and then Iaski also ran wide, so we catch up to P2, moves up to P3. The guy behind, no point trying to defend on lap 1, personally. Now, will he get the overtake done? Doesn't bother moving in, so no need to defend. Now, obviously slipstream is pretty good on long straights, and such as that we've just been on. Now, still got half a second penalty to serve, so ideally I want to be getting as much pace as possible and closing the gap as much as possible, so I don't lose as much time as possible when coming up to the penalty marker, which is the corner before the main straight, that little straight section there. Now, get the overtake done now on P2. So with P2 now, don't think I hear him. I checked the replay, it doesn't look like, and I couldn't hear any contact contact hearing either. That again didn't make sense. Now P2, Iaski there, like Iaski, you know, we get slipstream, we're 0.333 of a second behind and gaining, and then obviously subsequently getting away from third as well. Now go to the inside, now back to the outside, back to the inside, he brakes, come off the brakes a little bit, get the overtake done in the P1, but subsequently I run wide, a little bit of a gravel tap in there. Now still in P1, obviously coming to this section here is quite fast paced, and we are kind of neck and neck. I back off a little bit now, allow him to have it, but I do that and it means I get a slower line, so it allows third and fourth to overtake me. Now we're in fourth, so we've got this long straight coming up in the slipstream range, which is amazing. Racing soft tyres, as you can see, the tyre degradation on the left. We're getting slowly to bold or to ruin tyres, so we get the overtake done on third into the first corner. So again, making positions and losing positions at the moment, so it's quite an intense race to race. Now we need to just maintain position with P1 and 2. Now P2 I am gaining on, but again I don't want to be pinched going through this right-hander, so sometimes it's, for me, best to back out. Now here, if you look at behind, I don't know, did he purposely do that? We're not sure. Anyway, loser position again, so back into P4. So it is a contestant for first place at the moment. Now Connor there brakes a bit too early, I match the brakes, but ultimately get the overtake done, or the undertake, into P3. So now we've got some work to do to catch up to obviously P1 and 2 there in front. Almost hit the wall. Looks like Connor did hit the wall there, but just compared to lap 4 now, still in P3, so not really, nothing much has changed since the last cut there, and at the moment it's just trying to maintain the pace to try and just stick with the two drivers in front. And Connor there, we are getting away from Connor, so about a second difference now. So onto this bridge straight, still in P3. At the end of it, still in P3. Now, like I say, I do think the Lexus is a little bit better on the infield sections. Definitely brake a little bit later, I think, than the M6. The M6 might be a bit more like heavier, I guess, than the Lexus. Now, about half a second between me and P2, over, we'll almost say 2 seconds to round it up, between me and the P4, so not too worried about behind. Again, like I say, maintain this pace to keep up with P2 and P1. On lap 4, obviously we'll need a pit stop. I don't think you can go a whole race with no tyre change, especially, which is a question I want to ask, if any of you use a direct drive wheel, does the tyre wear, do you feel that in the tyre, or is it easier to drive than on the controller? Because when you do get worn tyres, trying to turn on the controller, it's like, just doesn't really happen. So that is a question I would like to know, if you guys want to put it down in the comment below. So beginning of lap 5, still in P3. Connor there pits in along with a few other people, so definitely I don't want the undercut done on me. Now skip ahead to again the last third of this track. We've gained some pace there. I guess the two had a little squabble, so it allows us to catch up. So we're in a good fight at the moment for P1. Now take that corner a little bit wide, tap the wall, not great. So half a second gap now between 3 and 2, or myself in second. So this lap now we'll pit in. Now keep an eye on the track there on the top right. So we don't refuel, obviously change tyres. And we need to try and be out in front of P5, sorry. Okay, P8, which would be Connor. So when we come out, we're still in P3 and with a gap of just under 3 seconds. So enough pace there, which is good. Now I do believe, and I do have a feeling that driving this Lexus, fresher tyres, you are a lot quicker. Or whether they're just battling it out, I'm not too sure, but I just felt a lot quicker and a lot more comfortable on the soft tyres. And I felt like I could be faster than P1 and 2, but obviously we need to see if we can put that to the test and actually use that. So lap 6, now still in P3. Again, just try and be smooth, gained a lot of pace there, a lot of time. So onto the straight of the bridge with slipstream at our advantage. Move to the inside of Zahabit and brake a little bit later, get the overtake done. So nice move there into P2. Now again, just got the Hulk in front. Obviously he's a big unit, so going to be quite hard to pass. And again, it's just maybe I should have took the outside line and followed Ayaski, but we've got the slipstream 0.35 seconds difference now. Now again, do we brake later? Let's have a look. So coming into the big brake zone, brake a little bit later, let go of the brakes into P1. Now I don't think he tapped me. Again, I didn't hear any contact noise. So into P1, and I think it's a good little result. Now beginning of lap 8, 2 second gap. Lap 9, beginning of lap 9, 3.5 second gap. So again, now this is the last section. The gap, I've opened it up to 4.4 seconds, so 4.5 seconds. Let's just say. So if you guys enjoyed the video and you like what you see, you want to see more, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you disliked it. Let me know why, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.